You go to the doctor in the hopes that they will help you get better. But what if the person who's supposed to be helping you is the one that's hurting you? Heyo, and welcome to another episode of The Darchives. I'm Jamie talking to Leo.
And I'm Leo listening to Jamie.
And this week we are going to be talking about, allegedly, America's first female serial killer.
What was the asterisk there, the allegedly?
There's a few women who the internet gives this title to. Lavinia Fisher was one, but she's kind of like a legend almost. I don't take Google too seriously when I do just a random search, but that one was trying to tell me Eileen Wuornos. So there's a few different women that could have been picked for this, but I picked who I believe was the first female serial killer.
All right, cool. Where are we starting on this?
We are starting with Jane Toppan being born as Honora Kelley to Bridget and Peter Kelley sometime in the mid to late 1850s. Different sources, different dates, but in that time frame. Records are spotty about her early life, but it's believed that she also had a few sisters. We know of at least 2, but there was up to 4, maybe. Again, spotty records. Her mother died while Honora was still a young child from consumption, tuberculosis, and her father was known as Kelly the Crackpot, or Kelly the Crack.
So I'm guessing old Kelly the Crackpot was pretty loopy.
Yeah. We'll very, very briefly talk about him in just a minute, but he was a violent drunk and he was unable to care for his children properly. So while she was just a very young child, her father went to the Boston Female Asylum and pretty much begged for 2 of his daughters, Honora and Delia, to be left there in the care of the asylum.
Yeah, I can't do this shit anymore. Take my kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The girls showed up looking so haggard and beat down that the workers there actually said that Mr. Kelly's habits, quote, evidently rendered him an unfit protector for his little girls. Their appearance indicated that they had been rescued from a very miserable home, end quote. So the girls were left here in the care of the asylum. Her whole family was, kind of a bit of a mess. Her mother obviously passed away. Her father was eventually institutionalized after he attempted to sew his eyelids shut.
Living up to the nickname Crackpot.
Delia would eventually grow up to become an alcoholic and a sex worker. There was also another sister named Nellie who would grow up to eventually be institutionalized as well. Not a great genetic gene pool that we're working with here, it seems like.
You know, making broad assumptions here, but I'm sure there's some genetic element to the mental illness that might be inflicting this family, and as well as the nurture element. You know, it's the nature and nurture. They've got it bad on both sides.
Yeah.
They've got no structure, so they can't get better, and they've probably got a predisposed family issue.
Yeah.
That's going on.
It does seem that way. It does, unfortunately. In 1864, a woman named Mrs. Anne C. Toppan came to the asylum and requested that she be allowed to take in Honora. Quote, she seemed like a very respectable woman, and the home that she offered to the child appeared to possess many advantages. It was therefore voted that Honora Kelley be bound to Mrs. Toppan.
All right.
She was never formally adopted, but Mrs. Toppan did change her name to Jane or Jenny Toppan. It was Jane Toppan, nicknamed Jenny. Jane was essentially just indentured to the family, which consisted of Anne and her daughter Elizabeth. Jane was able to attend public school, though, in Lowell, Mass., and was an intelligent and quick learner, which actually I put in my notes Lowell, Mass., but to specify Massachusetts, here in the United States. At the time, the area that they were in had an anti-Irish stance, which is so goofy because Boston and the greater area is known for being very Irish.
Yeah, but back in the day, 1800s, early 1900s, there was a big push against... There was a lot of anti-Italian and anti-Irish stuff going on.
Yeah. So, whatever. It's so stupid, but yeah, you are right. So we're in the very anti-Irish time, and Honora Kelley was very Irish. So she becomes something of a big fat liar. And this will be a problem that she will carry with her for the rest of her life.
It's a big thing. Once people start lying to get out of things, they just keep doing it.
She will never cease in telling big fat whoppers of a lie. She created a story about her parents being lost on the open ocean while crossing here from Italy. I don't know why she chose another kind of hated group of people, but at this time we're anti-Irish. We have not reached the anti-Italian yet, so she went with being Italian, which...
Should have just gone English. English has pretty much immunity throughout all things. They were the oppressors and movers and shakers of back in the day. They thought themselves higher than a lot of other people.
Yeah, and I mean, she should have gone English just due to the geographical closeness of Ireland and England. I feel like she would have had a easier time passing off as an English girl rather than an Italian girl. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Despite being a big fat liar, she was also described as charming, so her classmates were kind of split 50-50 on whether or not they liked her. Some people found her endearing and charming, while others were just annoyed with her blatant and obvious lies. There is a story about her. When she was 16, she said that a man had proposed to her, even giving her a ring engraved with an image of a bird. This man or boy moved away and fell in love with his landlady's daughter, so he called off the engagement to Jane. She would call this the moment that her entire life began to spiral.
So is this a story from her, though?
Mm-hmm.
This is her excuse as to why she is the way she is, I'm guessing?
Yeah, this will be used as like her turning point in life. While Jane and Elizabeth, her foster sister, had initially seemed to get along pretty well, Jane began to envy and even hate her adopted sister. Jane claims that this is because she knew that Elizabeth would grow up and be able to get married and have a family and this, that, and the other, but Jane believed that she never would. So, a little bit of jealousy turning into anger and hatred, On Jane's 18th birthday, Anne, her foster mother, gave her $50 and told her to go figure it out. Good luck and Godspeed, girl.
Hey, in the mid to late 1800s, $50 was enough to get you by for a little bit.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
I mean, Jane didn't go anywhere. She was freed from her indentured kind of like servitude, but she chose to remain in the house for about a decade longer. So now you're just here, I guess. You're just in my home, not working. Anne had passed away, so Jane remained with Elizabeth until Elizabeth married a local deacon named Oramel Brigham. Eventually, about 11 years after her 18th birthday, Elizabeth did kind of kick Jane out, though there was no hard feelings on Elizabeth's side. Said you're welcome to come back at any time, but
it's time for you to go grow up.
Yeah.
You're pushing 30. Go figure it out.
Exactly. In 1887, Jane began to train as a nurse at Boston's Cambridge Hospital. While the patients there absolutely loved her and even gave her the nickname of Jolly Jane, her co-workers and, fellow trainees could not stand her. They described her as a devious gossip, and she was still lying. Just about any and everything. Just a fucking liar to her core.
Yeah, she was a killer in a single-serving conversation, but when it came to actually keeping up with the lies that she's telling, people saw right through it. So anybody who interacted with her for more than a few minutes at a time was like, this chick's full of shit.
Oh, that's spot on. Like, the patients, it's so easy. It's so easy to be likable because you can tell them anything. They were there for a short time, but the colleagues who are hearing these different versions and different stories all the time, like, girl, shut up. Jane was also suspected of stealing, though she was never caught for this, never officially nailed down. Now, while working as a nurse, she developed an odd, we'll call it fascination. If Jane liked a patient, she would want them to stay. In order to ensure that they would stay, she started falsifying their charts, their medical charts, or keeping them sick with different medications. Her favorite meds were morphine and atropine, though she particularly favored atropine because of the reactions it caused in people, which was described as more animated.
It's a weird reason to like it. So like, oh yeah, they freak out when I give them this shit.
Yeah.
Makes it look real, you know?
Yeah. She would give large doses of medication to the patients, bringing them to like the brink of death or the brink of a coma, and then quickly give another medication that would bring them back. So she was just toying with them.
She's doing little flatliners.
What's that?
I actually haven't seen the movie, but I know about the movie. But it's the premise is that I believe a bunch of college kids are basically like they're flatlining and seeing how long they can stay flatlined to like see what's on the other side and then bring them back.
Oh God.
It's like a whole testing thing.
Ooh.
To see like if there's anything after death or what people see while they're dying.
Oh, that gave me goosebumps. That's freaky.
But yeah, it's an older movie, but I want to say maybe a 90s movie.
I'll have to check that out. One of the things that Jane believed was that there was no use in keeping elderly patients alive. No, nothing.
Just
no
a drain on the economy.
Yep. No emotion towards the elderly.
These old fucks, they don't do anything but lay in bed all day. We gotta feed them, wipe their asses. This is bullshit.
Yeah, she will kill somebody for the description in the source that I used was being feeble and fussy. He was like a late 70s man. Girl, you can't kill somebody for being whatever. We'll talk about it later, but like, yeah, she has absolutely no emotion towards elderly people.
If a child can smother you, I mean, I might kind of be on.
Excuse?
What?
Oh my God. While working at Cambridge, it is believed that she killed over a dozen patients there with her misuse of the medicine. One woman lived and was able to describe what Jane was doing, so we can kind of get like an inside look into what the fuck she's up to. Mrs. Amelia Finney claimed that after having surgery, Jane came in and gave her some bitter-tasting medicine that caused her to begin to slip into unconsciousness. Before she was fully unconscious, though, Jane crawled into bed with Amelia and began to kiss her all over her face.
Oh man, she's a creepy creep. Not only are you killing, but you're being fucking weird about it.
You're being fucking freaky. Yeah. Crawled into this woman's bed. How? So unbelievably freaky.
I just want to know what love feels like. This ain't it, babe.
Jane was then startled by somebody either coming into the room or being near the room and quickly got out of bed and ran out of the room. Amelia believed that this was some freaky, like half awake, half asleep dream, so she didn't say anything. She wasn't sure if it actually happened, so she kept quiet for over a decade about this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she didn't want to, 1800s, she didn't want, if she had a weird lesbian dream, that might translate weird in society back then.
Mm-hmm.
And they're both girls.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
There's there could be a lot of repercussions from saying that in that time period. So she kept her mouth shut about it. But sitting here today, we can say, girl, that was fucking freaky.
That was freaky.
The next year, in 1888, doctors gave Jane high recommendations, despite her colleagues all hating her for the various reasons. And she was able to transfer to the more respectable Massachusetts General Hospital, where she could continue her education and work.
And killing.
And murdering, yes.
Because, we're at about a dozen right now?
Mm-hmm.
All right, see where this goes.
While at the General Hospital, the head nurse had to take a leave of absence, and Jane was appointed as the temporary representative.
Okay.
Despite this new title, new job, new location, her colleagues here also could not stand her. The rumors of both theft and medical misconduct followed her here as well. So she's a liar, a thief, and a freaky little killer. Patients continued dying, and it was obviously suspected to be at her hand. The sources that I used just said a few or a couple people died here with her, so no exact number, but we're still killing. The final straw came when she left the ward without permission, and she was actually discharged for this. She was fired without ever officially receiving her nursing license, despite having passed the final and having a signed diploma. But you got fired, so I guess you can't have it?
It's a tricky one because on one hand, I want to be an advocate and be like, that girl worked hard for that. And on the other hand, I'm like, she's also killing motherfuckers, so don't give her shit.
Yeah.
She's drugging, laying with people, smooching people without consent.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe she shouldn't be a nurse.
No, probably not. 1890, she returned to Cambridge, but was also fired pretty quickly from here for administrating medicines recklessly. In the summer of 1891, she officially began her career as a full-time private nurse. So we are no longer working in hospitals, we are going into people's homes.
Private sector.
Her career as a private nurse was actually pretty successful, and she was valued, liked, and trusted. Her employers didn't like her, though, because, why do you think?
She was a lying scoundrel.
She was a lying thief, yeah. They couldn't stand her. This girl just can't quit it.
Lying's it's one of those tricky things. Once you start, it's hard to stop.
I know, it would be, if you're living without any sort of morals or stress, I imagine it would be very easy, but oh my God, the anxiety that I would have, the pit in my tummy of trying to keep up with all my lies to ensure that the web didn't get too tangled. I could never. I'd get an ulcer.
I don't even think people who are addicted to lying even think like that. I think it's one of two things, because if we're being real, I think everybody's lied at some point in their life.
Well, of course.
And the two things that note to me when I think back about the feeling of lying, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's either a rush because of the reaction you get from somebody else, because you're telling this outlandish story and seeing somebody's eyes wide and get all that, it might give you some kind of rush, right? Like, oh, I'm telling an exciting story.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's the rush of getting away with something, right? It's one of those two things is what I would think someone would get addicted to lying about.
Yeah.
It's like either I'm watch me get away with this and I love the rush of this, or I love the excitement on the other person's face when I'm doing it. Other than that, I can't see a reason to lie. It's got to be like an endorphin rush or something.
I have a lie that I told my mother as a child, and I will never admit to it. And it is something that still comes into my mind every once in a while, and I'm like, oh God. But
you're on recording saying that, you know that, right?
I know, and she listens, but I'll never tell.
But I'll never tell.
It affects absolutely nothing in my life right now, or probably ever again.
Oh, it will after this episode.
But I think about it. And I'm like, oh, she's got to know. That was a big lie, and she's got to know. But yeah, that's I could never be a chronic liar like this. I think about a lie that I told my mother when I was 10, and it still comes up 2 decades later in my mind. I could never be Jane. Be too stressful, dude. Stomach ulcer.
There's just no point in it. It's easier to stay truthful, and like you said, instead of trying to keep track of all this stuff, it's just easier to be legit. The more legit you are, the easier your life is, I believe.
Yeah. Well, back to our big time whopper girl here. Jane's free time was spent guzzling beer, telling lies, and spreading rumors. For the rest of this story, essentially, we're just going to be talking about some of her murders, so buckle up because we're getting right into it. May of 1895, Jane killed her landlord, Israel Dunham, age 77, via poison because he was a fussy, feeble, and weak man. Using this opportunity, Jane moved in with his widow, Lovey, whom she would end up killing 2 years later. Old people didn't need to live. August 1899, Elizabeth and Jane, Elizabeth, her sister, foster sister, met at Elizabeth's vacation home at Cape Cod. While here, Jane slowly and painfully killed Elizabeth with doses of strychnine. Yeah.
Little rat poisoning.
Yeah. And this one she dragged out, over a few days. This one she would claim is the only murder that she committed out of hatred. She fully just did this one because fuck you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
As if killing her wasn't bad enough, Jane told Elizabeth's husband, Ormel, that Elizabeth's last wish was to have Jane get her gold watch and chain. So she took it. Ormel believed the story because Elizabeth was a kind woman, so that seemed like something she would do. It was later discovered that Jane just went and pawned it.
Yeah, of course. She just wanted some money.
5 months after Elizabeth, Jane killed a woman named Mary McLear, who was 70 years old, and it's believed that this was literally just to steal her clothes. Jane met Mary because of a recommendation from a doctor. So she's just doing this while working. Just killing people. My goodness. February 1900, Jane killed an old friend named Myra Connors just to take her job as a dining matron at the theological school. In order to get this job, Jane had approached the dean of the school and told him that Myra was taking a leave of absence and had recommended Jane for the job.
I ought to be alive back in the day when your word was just good.
Yeah.
Right? If you walked in anywhere with enough confidence,
You could get away with anything.
you had it. Yeah.
Yeah, she said that Myra had already told her of like all the duties and what to do, so the dean gave her the job. It became quickly apparent that Jane had no clue what the fuck she was doing. So her colleagues once again did not like her. She was fired later that year in November for financial irregularities and complaints from coworkers. So stealing money and being annoying.
Yeah, pissing people off.
Yep. She didn't kill anyone while there though, so yay. We had a few months off. 1901, Jane moved in under new landlords, Melvin and Eliza Beadle. For whatever reason, she poisoned them as well, but only enough to just mess up their stomachs. Just give them big old tummy aches and some gastrointestinal distress. She also poisoned their housekeeper, Mary Sullivan, but only enough to claim that Mary was a drunk and get her fired. And it worked. So they fired the housekeeper and hired Jane to take over the job. Sometime in June or July of 1901, the landlords of a place where Jane would sometimes vacation decided that it was time to collect the $500 that Jane owed them. Mary, or as she went by Maddie Davis, went to the Beadle house to collect the money. Jane, being the ever-hospitable host, offered Maddie some Hunyadi mineral water. This mineral water was used as a laxative, so when Maddie became ill, Jane offered her some medicine. Nice nurse stuff, you know? The medicine was morphine, and for the next week, Jane kept her sick. She would use medicine to have Maddie slip into comas, and then other medicine to bring her out of them. July 5th, Maddie finally died. Later that month, Jane moved in with the Davis family in order to help out a man named Alden Davis after his wife, Maddie, had passed away. Jane, for whatever reason, set fire to a closet, but it was quickly extinguished. Over the next few weeks, Jane set 2 more fires in the home.
This woman is just chaos.
Yeah.
Everywhere she goes.
Yes. Both times the fires were put out, though, without any casualties. July 16th, the youngest daughter of the Davises was poisoned, and she died.
Oh, now she's doing kids. This is when you get caught. Nobody's really looking into the old people. They're like, yeah, they're old. They'll figure it out.
Younger people, though, is a problem. Jane tried to say that it was suicide because Genevieve, the daughter, was just so distraught over the passing of her mother. August 8th, so 2-3 weeks later, Alden, the father and husband, was dead. The last surviving member of the Davis family, she killed all the others, was a woman named Minnie Gibbs, who Jane poisoned between August 12th and 13th. For whatever reason, while Minnie was dying, Jane brought in her 10-year-old son, Minnie's 10-year-old son, to lay in bed with her. Come in here, mommy's dying. Give her cuddles. My source here says that it isn't clear if Jane sexually assaulted the child. There has been and will not be any more mentions of Jane doing this with kids, so I'm not sure why that was specified, but I'm also going to put it in, just it seems like it was brought up for a reason, you know?
Yeah, well, we know that she has sexually assaulted someone else by laying in bed and kissing them while they were unable to do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that she's got that tendency. We know she's not put together in the head very well.
Yeah.
The chronic lying, the weird, smooching on people and stuff, I put nothing past her.
She will later say the killing was sexual for her in some ways. So maybe she was, now that I'm thinking about it.
Jeez, maybe that's what all the fires were.
How do you mean?
Maybe she killed the mother and then went in the closet and started a friction fire, if you know what I mean.
Oh, disgusting.
It is gross.
It is gross, yeah. After annihilating the entire Davis family, Jane returned back to Lowell with the hopes of marrying Oramel, her foster sister's widow. Unfortunately for Oramel's sister, Jane poisoned her because she believed that the sister was in the way of Jane's marrying Oramel.
Just to get her out of the way.
Yeah, this poor man has lost his wife and his sister now because of Jane. August 31st, Minnie Gibbs's father-in-law requested that the leading toxicologist in Massachusetts exhume the bodies of the Davis family to test for poisons. He did not believe anything that Jane was saying here. While the exhumations were happening, a state detective, John S. Patterson, was set to follow Jane and watch her, as she was obviously the main suspect.
You got a tail now, Jane. Be good.
She will not be. Late September, Jane had grown frustrated that Oramel was not just falling madly in love with her. I mean, she had poisoned him and nursed him back to health just to prove how loyal and necessary she was.
Yeah, duh.
He wasn't into it, though, and dismayed by this apparent rejection, she overdosed herself with morphine, but survived. Once she was healthy and back on her feet, Oramel kicked her out. Said, you gotta go. You're freaking me out, dude. From here, Jane went to New Hampshire to visit a friend named Sarah Nichols. Before anything could happen, on October 29th, Jane was officially arrested for the death of Minnie Gibbs. 3 days later, she pled not guilty. So she's committing to that. The bodies that were exhumed had traces of arsenic in them, and they believed that that was the cause of death for people. Unfortunately for the prosecutors, though, it was discovered that the embalming fluids that they used for the bodies contained arsenic, so they had to throw that theory out the window. So now, what could it be? Do they have a case even? It was Captain Gibbs, Minnie's father-in-law, who suggested the use of morphine and atropine as the means of murder. Because of this suggestion, the trial would continue. December 6th, Jane was charged with the whole Davis family's murder. March 31st, a psych eval was done on Jane, and she admitted that the murders were done with a sexual impulse. And it was here that she confessed to 11 murders. June 23rd, her trial officially began and was done in less than 8 hours, and it only took 20 minutes of deliberation, and Jane was found
guilty as a motherfucker.
Not guilty by reason.
She lied for 8 hours and I didn't catch her?
Not guilty by reason of insanity.
Oh, she got the insanity charge, which honestly, that chick was probably insane. Yeah, okay, I'm with it.
Just like her father and one of her sisters, Jane was committed. She was sent to Taunton Insane Hospital with the sentence of life there. Jane was simply delighted by this, though. She believed that she had tricked an entire panel of experts into believing she was insane, and that she would be able to convince the hospital workers that she wasn't.
Yeah, I bet that didn't work out too good.
That is such a funny train of thought. Ooh, I got them. Yeah. I tricked them.
They think I'm crazy. You are, babe. You're totally crazy.
Yeah, she did not manage to get released. She did not convince anybody she was not crazy. And Jane would die in the hospital at the age of 84 on August 17th, 1938.
Another note to her thinking she could trick them into letting her out.
Mm-hmm.
What was the journalist? Nellie Bly.
Yeah.
Nellie Bly was a completely sane woman who went into an asylum and had a hard time getting out. She needed lawyers to come get her.
Yeah.
Because she could not convince them that she was sane.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you got in an asylum back in the day, they kept you in an asylum.
Yep.
Like, don't trust a thing this motherfucker says.
Yeah.
So the fact that she thought she could get out is crazy.
Well, she was...
Well, she's crazy.
She was a bit crazy. Yeah. It was later leaked that Jane had actually confessed to her lawyer of up to 38 murders. She blamed her entire life on the jilted love that she experienced in her teens. Quote, "If I had been a married woman, I probably would not have killed all those people. I would have had my husband, my children, and my home to take up my mind." End quote.
It's giving off Hitler. If I wasn't into getting peed on, I might not have to kill all of my ex-lovers.
That is such a fun episode to me. It is so fucking goofy. It's so funny. It's tragic for Kelley. And
Yeah.
I mean, World War II as a whole. But the fact that Hitler had that.
Yeah, if anybody's interested in that episode, it's Kelley Raubal. Rubel. How do you say her last name?
Raubal.
Raubal. The title of the episode is her name, so.
Yeah, go listen to that one.
Yeah.
That one's crazy. The true number of victims is unknown, but it is believed that she may have killed as many as 100 people. Later in her life, she would confess that she didn't know anymore. She had lost count, but she believes herself that she had killed potentially up to 100 people. And I mean, honestly, while working in the hospital, I don't find that number to be completely out of the realm of possibility. But that's it. That is America's first female serial killer. Thoughts, views, and opinions.
That was a fun story. I'd never heard of her. I've heard of stories and rumors of people in the health industry doing things. I know there's some pretty famous cases. I can't think of names off the top of my head, but I've heard of stuff adjacent to that, but never heard of her. And the stuff that she did in the private sector and the added little extraness, I guess I'll call it, of lighting fires and crawling into beds and smooching people and just being an all-around creep.
Icky.
Yeah, fun story to hear. I mean, tragic. I mean, obviously there was some kind of mental illness going on there that went undiagnosed and untreated and just exacerbated this, I guess, bloodlust that she had. Still, fun yarn in history.
It is, one of the sources said that today she would more than likely have been diagnosed as a psychopath just because of her complete lack of
remorse,
compassion, sympathy, empathy, anything. She felt nothing towards these people. They were just obstacles in her ways, whether that was to steal from them, get out of financial problems with them, take jobs, you know what I mean? Like, it was anything that she wanted. The people were just an inconvenience in the way. Yeah.
And she took the foresight to set herself up before taking care of it. Hey, this person has a decent job. Let me learn a little bit about it. Shoot the shit, because I'm overly confident and a liar anyway. As long as I know a little bit of info, I'll just kill her and then go to her boss and say, hey, I got this. Like, she said I should come over here.
But yeah, pretty crazy, huh?
Yeah, it's a fun story for sure. I mean, tragic, but fun.
Yeah.
It's kind of what we do.
Yep. Well, you can follow us on Instagram or send us an email, both of which are linked in the show description below.
You can rate the show and share the show if you think anybody you know might like it. It is a huge compliment to us and helps the show grow. You know, hopefully, if we can grow big enough and start gaining some revenue, we can increase the amount of shows and the type of shows that we do.
Yeah.
And that's a big plan that we've kind of been kicking around in the background, just thinking about maybe doing, I'm a big fan of Western stuff, so maybe doing a Western show.
I like unsolved things.
Jamie loves unsolved, paranormal, all that jazz, so we might have like a weird mystery thing, but for right now, the show is what the show is, and if we can get the show big enough and invest a little bit more time and money into it, we can produce more shows.
Yeah.
So that's just the thing. I just wanted to throw that out there. We appreciate all the support that we've gotten from everyone. And, just see you here next week.
All right. We'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.
See you guys. How do you feel about that episode? I think that went pretty damn good and smooth.
Yeah.
I don't think much is getting cut out of that. We're at 46 minutes. I think we've probably got like a 36 or 38 minute episode.
Cool tits.
Like, I think we've at least got 35, bare min. You don't want to do an after credits?
Oh.
You're just giving up on me.
I have to pee.